The morning came and I decided to take my bright red 99 NSX, that I have modified throughout the years. When I started pulling up, everyone stared and started following me to where I was parking. I felt happy seeing all the kids and teenagers that were there with their bright smiles, and pointing at my car. When I ended up parking, I had people already waiting for me outside to talk to me. I had a couple of middle-aged dudes shake my hand, and we ended up talking about cars, and what was done to mine. Throughout the morning, I've met a ton of cool people and someone even convinced me to make an Instagram page for my car. I guess giving my Facebook account threw them off a little when they asked me for my social. As the meet started to end, I took some time just admiring my car and reminiscing the struggles in my 20s. While I was looking at my car, I saw a little brown dot near my front bumper and I decided to go and check it out. I bent over and started carefully wiping it with my shirt until a teenager, maybe about 20 years old, came up to me with his friend and told me to stop touching his dad's car. I looked up confused and told him, "Excuse me?" He approached me and pushed my hand out of the way and said, "I told you to get your hands off my dad's car. Do you not know how expensive this is?" I started thinking to myself if I was the only NSX in the meet, but I didn't see any. And what other red NSX have BBS rims that's lowered to the ground other than me and my city? As I was about to reveal to him that this is my car, his other friend cut me off and laughed, saying, "Look at how he dress. He probably doesn't know how much this car cost." I looked at both of them completely shocked. I wondered to myself that this kid's generation is the ones that are going to be taking over. You can now check if there's a part 2 by pressing share and more. Spoiled entitled kid looked down at me until he saw me get in his dream car, part 2. I stood up and asked him where his dad was and he replied that he was inside the coffee shop. I asked him if it was possible that his dad had a NSX as well, and the little brat said yes, and that I was touching it. He looked closely at the bumper where I was wiping, and he looked at me disgustedly. I couldn't help but laugh because I had the keys to the car. I'm not going to lie, I was going to just reveal myself as the owner, but I wanted to see what would happen if I kept playing along. Maybe because I was also bored throughout the week, and this is my only entertainment these past couple of days other than paperwork and constant phone calls from my businesses. He asked me why I was laughing and that I shouldn't be touching things that I couldn't afford. I asked him how he knew that I couldn't afford it. For all he knows, I might be a millionaire. I could tell that he started getting annoyed and he started figuring out that I was messing with him. He let out a big sigh and told me that I shouldn't touch it and to go away. "What if I want to keep touching it?" I asked. Right when I said that, I continued touching my car all over the place. I started touching the hood, the rims, the front lip, everything you can imagine in the front. His eyes widened, and at this point he started yelling and telling me that he'll get his dad and make me pay for his car. I told him to go ahead. While this was happening, other people started coming to us because of all the commotion the kid was causing. Yes, I know I'm calling him a kid when he's about 20 years old. Once you turn at a certain age, everyone that just turned 20 is still a baby to you. The kid bolted off inside the coffee shop and brought his dad with him. His dad looked muscular and tall and he came up to me asking why I was touching his car. I wanted to shake his hand, but I guess he went straight to the point. I told him to unlock it if it was his car, but he told me that he didn't need to prove me anything. At this point, I'm starting to wonder how this kid thinks that his dad owns my car when he probably lives with him. Does he not see that there's no car inside their garage or something? I started to think that I was getting pranked because there was no possibility that this was real. It felt like a setup, so I just continued along. I kept touching the car and I thought he would start laughing and tell me that it's a prank. But the dude just started yelling and getting mad. He ended up going to my face and actually pushed me to the ground. I obviously got mad, so I got up and pushed him back as well. Everyone started running towards us and there was a crowd of people trying to separate us. I was hoping someone would tell me that this is all a prank because I was really getting angry and I was close to calling my lawyers. A guy ended up hearing us out and I ended up revealing that I was the true owner. The guy asked us to open the car if one of us was the real owner, but I told him that I wanted the dad to open it first. But he couldn't prove it, so I ended up unlocking the car while showing my keys. The spoiled kid looked at his dad devastated, and they ended up getting shitted on by the whole community. Till this day, I still wonder why the dad lied and how the kid doesn't know that his dad doesn't own the car. But this is one of my favorite stories I like to tell to my friends and family.